Top 15 Greek Mythology Movies. Greek mythology is a niche genre that can be spectacular on the big screen. It has fascinated audiences for over 2 millennia, and numerous movies have been inspired by these ancient stories. Whether you are a fan of the drama, the gods, or just hunky hams with spray-on abs, Greek mythology has got something for everyone. Here are the top 15 most famous movies from Greek mythology. Number 1, Antigone. Antigone, 1961, is one of the top Greek mythology movies, which is based on Sophocles' tragic play. Antigone tells the story of 2 brothers, the 2 sons of the late king Oedipus, fighting for the throne of the 7-tailed Thebes and dying from the fight. When the new king, Creon, refuses to bury one of the brothers properly, the story's heroine, Antigone, defies him and tries to bury the other brother herself. Number 2, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman in 2017 offers a fresh take on Greek mythology and is more than just another superhero movie. From the goddess Diana's origin on Themyscira to the horrors of gas production during World War I, Wonder Woman comments on race, gender, and human nature in a film full of action, heart, and humor. Number 3, Clash of the Titans. Clash of the Titans is a fantasy adventure film directed by Louis Leterrier that was released in 2010. It is a remake of the movie from the same name that was released in 1981. The plot is itself nearly another straightforward adventure, as many such stories tend to offer. However, the uncanny artistry of one Ray Harryhausen is thoroughly enriching and infectious to behold. Every new creature just radiates creativity and aesthetic passion. Perhaps it was behind the times when Star Wars had already stolen the hearts of fantasy fans, but Harryhausen was an undeniable genius. That fun aside, the tragedy in this tale isn't lost through adaptation, and fortunately, the performances hold up. The interference and prioritized perspective of the gods is arguably the most exciting facet of this classic. Number 4, Immortals. Immortals is one of the top Greek mythology movies with undeniably engaging visuals, decent scope, and enthusiasm. Yet it also bears a hard R rating as it shamelessly borrows from 300, a far superior film. That influence boasted the rich artistry and imagination of Frank Miller, whom one might want to avoid competing with, particularly since the dark cinematography in Immortals can feel dull by comparison. The story itself bears little semblance to an actual Greek myth and instead plays in that sandbox. This is unfortunately typical and should dismay fans of Theseus' tale. The acting is decent, but the dialogue is stiff. Number 5, Percy Jackson. Many hardcore book fans reject the Percy Jackson movies because they change a lot of things from the famous book series written by Rick Riordan. That said, if you haven't read the books or you try to separate the two mediums, you might be able to enjoy them as the fun popcorn flicks they are. There are only 2 of them at this time, starring Logan Lerman, Jake Abel, Brandon T. Jackson, and Alexandria Daddario. The movies follow Percy Jackson, Lerman, a demigod who strains at a camp with other demigods his age, and the adventures Jackson is forced to go on in the process. Number 6, Alexander. Alexander the Great in all his glory. Although Alexander is a real person and the battles during the movie really happened, many stories in this movie are based on legends rather than facts. With $155 million as a budget, Oliver Stone dared to interpret the legendary Greek general exploits differently. With a somewhat Freudian approach, the director covered the main parts of an ancient Greek soldier's life, at times impressive and at times chaotic. We follow Colin Farrell, Alexander, through his glorious life as he tries to conquer the known world and achieve his vision. Angelina Jolie, Val Kilmer, Anthony Hopkins, and Jared Leto are some of the cast's other big names. Leaving aside the historical inaccuracies, this is an excellent movie. Number 7, Troy. This grounded approach to the Trojan War may not be as flashy as the others listed here, but Troy 2004, is undoubtedly the most character-driven, convincing presentation of a Greek myth that still offers slick action sequences. Because audiences are allowed to invest in the entire cast of characters, every battle feels earned. The heightened sense of romance and honor is always driven by a convincing approach. Even such things as philosophy and destiny are invoked in dialogue that is both majestic and intimate at once. The characters are perfectly cast and deliver striking performances. The iconography is enthralling, the screenplay is measured for the personal and epic alike, and James Horner's score is equal parts moving and vast. Number 8. Jason and the Argonauts. The original classic go-to movie for fans of Greek mythology is Jason and the Argonauts. Its effects were far beyond their time, innovative and captivating for every unique design. The compelling story stands on its own, but it is also conducive to a boiling pot of various creatures, and that is the ultimate trick of the genre, to establish humans and their monstrous adversaries with equal personality shares. The pacing is swift enough, and every scene thoroughly exudes a love for Greek mythology. The characters are boisterous and fun. Prophecies, monsters, Hercules, the intervening gods. This movie is a greatest hits compilation for any mythology lover. Fortunately, the sharp story is sustained by Ray Harryhausen's timeless work and sturdy performances. Number 9. The Odyssey. Undoubtedly, one of the most famous characters from Greek mythology is the crafty Odysseus, Ulysses in Latin, the hero of Homer's epic poem, Odyssey. The story follows Odysseus and his crew on their way back from Ithaca after the fall of Troy. A journey that would generally last weeks lasted 10 whole years. Their epic adventures include many ordeals that god Poseidon sent their way after showing arrogance towards the Olympians. Terrifying, missing mythical monsters, gigantic cyclops, beautiful nymphs, and enchanting sirens are only a few of the trials Odysseus has to face before he returns to his loyal wife, Penelope. Number 10. Xena, Warrior Princess. A famous spin-off of the previous mention, Xena was another popular television series based in Greek mythology, created by writer and director Robert Tappert. It continued the story of Xena that first appeared in the 3 episodes of the earlier Hercules television series. Lucy Lowell starred as the homonymous character. The series' premise unfolds mainly in ancient Greece, Italy, and other ancient sites, adapting Greek and Roman mythology to its needs. The series is wildly inaccurate but extremely fun to watch. Number 11. Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. The powerful Greek demigod hero was the inspiration for one of the most popular television shows in the world in the late 90s. With Kevin Sorbo as Hercules, the story follows the hero and his sidekick Iolaus in the world of ancient Greece as they try to save villagers from monsters or evil warlords, avoiding at the same time the whims of the vengeful goddess Hera. Number 12. Oedipus Rex. This Italian movie of 1967 by Pier Paolo Pasolini is an adaptation of the homonymous Greek tragedy written by Sophocles. A boy is born in a Milan village in the 1930s. His father abandons the baby in a desert and is rescued by another couple. We watch as the 3 sisters of fate weave the hero's life thread, mumbling, "I have arrived. Life ends where it started." Number 13. Elektra. 2 years before Zorba's worldwide success, Michael Kakianis created one of the finest tragedy of Elektra transfers to the big screen with his 1967's Elektra, a black and white film with music by Mikis Theodorakis and powerful acting with Irene Papas as the lead role as Elektra. The final result garnered a Best Film Award at the 1962 Cannes Film Festival and an Oscar nomination for the Best Foreign Film in 1963. Number 14. Hercules. Hercules, the animated Disney musical movie, was inspired by the mythical Greek hero of the same name, Hercules, in 1997. It has been praised for its stunning visuals, music, and humor. Although Hercules did take some liberties mythology-wise, it still sheds light on ancient Greek society in a fun way. Number 15. Helena. The first production of mythical proportions came from Germany with Manfred Noah's Helena, 1924. Over 3 hours long movie. Many of Germany's silent movie stars and comedians had resurrected the capture of beautiful Helena in the fall of Troy, yielding an honorable aesthetic result. The movie had been surrendered to oblivion until its recent restoration by the Munich Film Museum.